Hello, it's Debbie Gilbert here from the Business Awards Show, and I'm also the founder of the Best Business Women Awards. And today it's a first. It's a first because we are hosting a guest who has been on the podcast before, and I've never done this before. And I think we're going to have a really interesting discussion because I interviewed Enfys back in, oh my goodness, 2022, episode 50. So you'll need to track back on the episodes to listen to that episode. And she was very much at the start of her awards journey. And it's a really interesting episode, episode 50. So make sure you go back and listen to it, because we're not going to be talking about what we talked about in episode 50. We're going to be talking about what's been happening in her business since then. And she has made so many strides in her business. It's incredible, the progress that she's made. And she's also launched her own awards. So this is going to be an incredible discussion. Welcome back, Enfys.
Well, thanks for having me back again.
Oh, goodness me. Great Absolutely. To have you back. So
yeah, I was just thinking, I'm back. I'm the first guest you've had back. So yeah, let's see where this conversation loops onto next.
I know. And I listened to the podcast episode myself this morning, wanted it to be fresh before our conversation to make sure we didn't go over the same stuff, because we want to bring new things to our listeners. And I think what will be interesting for our listeners is your journey since that conversation. So just to summarize it, you pivoted your business in lockdown from being a travel consultant to delivering sales training, but something you'd been very passionate about for many, many years, sales training. And you have not just developed a business, Enfys, you have developed a community. So let's talk a bit about what has happened since 2022, because you've also moved house. Oh my goodness.
Oh, my life has completely changed since we last spoke. And the business has evolved into something really incredible, actually. So we spoke in 2022. I just won my first business award with you at the Best Business Women Awards. And since then, I've gone on to win 4 other prestigious business awards and launched my own Golden Peacock Awards to celebrate the success of my own clients. And like you said, I've really been building this brand and this community around the central core of the business, which is sales training and enabling others to sell successfully and comfortably together.
Okay, so let's think about then why the community has been so vital, because there are a lot of people out there delivering sales training, okay? Go in, teach people all those selling techniques and walk away. Or they might work one-to-one with, entrepreneurs. So you decided to go down a different path with this. Tell me why you did that and what has been the benefit of it.
Yeah, all right. So to go back in time then, I launched the business in January 2021 with a pretty cheap and cheerful mini course. My first ever offer was £160 to 12 people, and it was foundational sales training or something like that. And we went through the program and I instantly knew, one, it had delivered. Okay, it did what it said on the tin: come and get the sales training and then leave. And I always thought, there's unfinished business here. I don't know if they're going to implement the stuff. I don't know if they're going to have the courage and the confidence to put into play what I had just trained them on. Even though they knew how, would they actually go and execute what we had gone through? And I immediately, from that moment on, from my first offer, knew that actually there is so much power to community courage. People perform better together. And I didn't want to just sell sales training. The purpose of the brand is not to sell sales training. The purpose of the brand is to enable others to confidently build impact-driven, positive impact making businesses that are also profitable. And in order to do that, you're going to have to make sales on repeat. You're going to have to show up for your business. The marketing is relentless. You have to be visible. You've got to show up. You've got to be courageous. You've got to make decisions. You've got to, running a business is hard, and it is excruciating alone, and it is possible in a community. And I just created this space for people to build their businesses together. And it's been wonderful. It's really central to my success, but it's also central to my clients' success ultimately, which is why I have really, I've created this community where people come and flourish together, and also kind of embrace their ambition unapologetically. I think there's a lot of hesitancy sometimes to say out loud what you're really wanting to build, or to have the courage to see your ideas through. And the sales training will help you with the ideas. We can craft offers. I can tell you how to generate leads and show up and convert sales and all the rest of it. But executing it, that's the hard bit. Information is easy, right? Implementation is hard, and it's easier together as part of this community. And community courage is really, like, I think it's a real tangible thing, even though it's kind of difficult to exactly know what I mean by it. The results are undisputed.
Yeah, because I mean, the foundation of all of this really started with a Facebook group, didn't it? The Business Lounge.
Yeah.
And that was your sort of first port of call for people to understand what you were offering and what you were delivering, and your first kind of development of the community. And then you've also run retreats, haven't you? Talk a bit about that.
Yeah. So I'll go back in time, because I was thinking about the evolution of my events just the other day, actually. And it was around Christmas time. I was first year in my business, about 8-9 months in or so. And my husband was going out for Christmas lunch, and it was just a given. If you're in corporate, you have Christmas lunch. And I was like, who the hell am I going to go out for Christmas lunch with? And I just asked, I was in Bedford at the time. We've moved to Wales now, but I was in Bedford at the time. And I was like, does anybody want to come for Christmas lunch with me? And about 20 people did. And all of a sudden, my events, which has been a massive part of my brand building and my community hub, if you like, ignited into life. And we had our Christmas lunch. And then I was like, oh, I could run a retreat. I could run some more events. And I just tried, and I put it out there. Do you want to come on my retreat? Do you want to know the real reason why I ran this retreat? It's a little bit random.
Yeah, go on.
So this is a roundabout story. My husband was turning 40, and I wanted to throw him an epic party, and it was going to cost like 5,000 or 6,000 for this big party. I wanted for me to cover it, and I was like, I didn't have that cash. My business was really new, and I was like, what can I sell that can make that instant cash injection? And I was like, everybody I know is kind of already on my programs. What else would they buy? What else would they say yes to? And my family run Portmeirion Village up in North Wales, or they're part of that is Portmeirion's part of my heritage. And I was like, it's the perfect venue. And I was like, does anybody want to come on a retreat with me? And 10 people booked that first month. And I knew I wasn't ready to deliver it, because I was really new in my business. But I got the money to put on the party for my husband. And 10 months later, I was like a little bit more experienced. I kind of knew what I was doing by then, and I was ready to deliver it. And I had my 12 or 13 first retreat guests, and they were amazing. And it was such a wonderful experience for them, and for me as well. And the confidence has grown through the business as I've just tried. So I just tried to enter awards that I never thought I would win. I would just try and see if anybody wanted to come to my lunches or my events. I just saw if anybody wanted to join me on whatever crazy thing I was trying. And people have always said yes. And I think it's because the community aspect of the sales training makes it enjoyable, and not just like pulling teeth, you know, like sales training. Nobody in their right minds wants just sales training, Debbie. Like, you know, they want sales, they want results, but they also want to enjoy the process. And I think if we can create an experience around what we deliver, our client retention and our experience, and our reputation, our brands, it evolves beyond just the thing, and it turns into a community. And that's what I've done.
Because then let's talk about the next two things that you did. So you'd obviously built this community of people who'd been through your remind me of the name of the program, Success Vault.
So it was the Elevate Circle,
Yeah.
which was the first program, and that was VIP. I was giving a lot of my time, and it grew really quickly to a point that was unsustainable for me. I had like 19 VIP clients on it that, you know, there was unlimited access to me, and they were getting amazing results. But I've got two young kids, I've got a busy life behind the scenes, and I just felt like it was taking just so much energy to sustain that model. So then I launched a second tier program, which is the Success Vault, which brings the best of everything without the one-to-one and without the price tag for the one-to-one. So all of a sudden I have a high ticket, you know, Elevate Circle VIP offer, and my core offer is now the Success Vault, which is where people come for, you know, 12 months for sales and marketing help, and me there to support them on a group basis, which works really, really well. And that community element is part of every single aspect of the business.
So you've done the retreat and you've done some other in-person events, and then obviously your next stage was creating a sales conference and an awards. So tell us about that and the thought process behind the Golden Peacock Awards.
Yeah, so I watched and witnessed my clients flourish, and I was like, how are you going to celebrate this success, you know? And when I first started the Elevate Circle, I had kind of toyed in my head with the idea of maybe like a graduation, you know, but that didn't feel quite right. It felt a bit formal. And I really wanted to not just help them create success, but how to celebrate it, and my way, colorful and creative. And I didn't want to call it just, I don't know. I wanted to call it something that would represent the brand. So the Golden Peacock Awards began. It was actually my child that came up with that name, and the peacock has always been part of my colourful brand. And so I put together the awards, 7 awards, from the Trailblazer Award, New Moon, Starlight, Sparkling. There was a few in there, and invited sponsors to sponsor the event, and just ran it in November, and it was a triumph. There was a lot to learn running a massive event when you've not ran a massive event before. There's always place, you know. So this time I'm doing it again this November 2024, and it'll be bigger, better, and more refined. But you know, we have to allow ourselves the playground of business development and just have the idea and see where it takes us. And do you know what happened, right? Those award winners, my first award winners for the Golden Peacock Awards, a lot of my clients had been too nervous to enter any other, you know, more established business awards, but they stepped into mine, and then they won, and then they've gone on to enter bigger national-based business awards, yours included. I am coming to your gala in October because I can hold a table. I think about 7 or 8 of my clients are going to be at your awards, and I'm so thrilled to see the exponential ripple effect of where this sales training has taken them. Obviously, I can't take credit for everything, but the role it's played, it changes the trajectory of people's lives. They enter an award, they might just win, or they might just learn something, they might just meet somebody, they might just get that belief that takes them on to something new. And honestly, to be that host is an amazing privilege, and seeing my clients flourish is amazing. Like there's no better feeling, is there? So yeah.
No, that's why I do what I do. I think I was at the awards, as you know, last year, your Golden Peacock Awards, and they were incredible, the women that received those accolades. For me, one of them stood out because she has created a business from tragedy. She is a widow coach. And I just think you have got some incredible people in your community who have taken an idea and developed it with your assistance and have been able to grow their businesses because of the support that they've had from you. So you should definitely give yourself a big pat on the back for that. And then, not content with retreats and one-off events and sales conferences and awards, you then launch your own networking company called Vibrant Connections.
Yeah,
so tell us a bit about that.
I did, Debbie. Oh my God, this is just this has been a lot of fun. So in March, so 3 months ago, I launched, no, 4 months ago, I launched Vibrant Connections. I invited people into my Zoom room, and I promised to deliver networking online with a difference, and it exploded. I had about 87 founding members in 1 week, and it's going up and up all the time now, and the community is Vibrant Connections, and that's what they are. They're a vibrant crew of dedicated business owners who know that they will get better results together. And yeah, it's a joy, frankly, and this is just formalizing what was already happening in my business. So people would come to my events, people come on my programs, and they connect in the background. The amount of business that is passed between my clients is vast. It's such an enormous amount of opportunity just sitting in the community. And I was like, how can I capture this? How can I create something that brings them together once a month into my Zoom room? Keep it super simple. It's not like difficult, it's just an hour and a half every month. We get together online. It ignites conversations that ignites opportunities. And there's no pitching, there's no awkwardness. It's done really differently to how you'd expect networking to be. And I'm really excited to see where I take it next. I'm not quite sure, but that's that this business moves quickly, and my ideas come quickly, and some I implement and some I sit on, and I just curious to see how it can evolve. But next year, Debbie, I would love Vibrant Connections to be an award-winning best of British networking provision, because it's important that business owners find a space that they can be themselves and for it to be fruitful and generate business. So it's not just being fabulous, it's also being highly focused and it attracts a really high caliber of business owner as well. And yeah, so watch this space.
I'm actually curious of how you deal with all the ideas. So to me, I look at you today, because obviously we are recording this on video as well, and there's just these things popping out of your head. Like I can see it almost. And you remind me a little bit of me, because I'm a bit like that. And how do you harness your ideas? Do you write things down? Do you just, what do you do with all this stuff that's whizzing around in your brain?
Well, first of all, I run to the kitchen and I say to my husband, Rick, I've had an idea. And he groans and he's like, oh no.
Oh, my husband does that too.
Seriously, he's like, oh no. But he's learned to trust me, I think. You know, ultimately, the ideas that I see through are only seen through because they will evolve what I do for the better. I do now have a little bit of a ban on myself. Like, I don't need any new ideas now. The business model is set. I've got my 2 core programs. My retreat it sells really quickly. I do 1 a year. The extravaganza in November is 1 a year. And I'm probably going to dial down the number of in-person events that I'm doing just to preserve my own energy, because we live in Snowdonia now, which is absolutely beautiful. I live in the mountains. This morning I ran up into the mountains and I jumped into our river afterwards. And all I want to do is kind of be at home, and going up and down to London or traveling to England too often, that is where I get energetically depleted. So what used to be really a source of energy creation for me, like events really filled me, all of a sudden all the travel has made me tired. So I'm going to tone down some of my events and focus on what I've already built, and just growing and scaling and optimizing and making what I've created better and not different. Actually, I think what I've created now is ready to settle and scale, as opposed to having any new ideas. Although, do you know what? Don't tie me to that, because you know me. There'll probably be a new
I was
idea.
going to say, I'll be coming back and going, ooh, you said this. I mean, 2023 for you was a big year in terms of winning awards. So you got the SME Bedfordshire Awards, and then you went on to the SME National Awards, and then you also received the Best New Business at the National Businesswomen Awards.
Yeah.
So that was a big year. It's a lot of awards in a year.
And I got one of yours as well.
And you did get one of mine as well. So you decided this year to take a break from entering awards. Talk me through why that was a decision that you wanted to make.
There was a number of reasons, really. One, energetically, you know, like we'd just moved house. My kids were starting Welsh school. We've got a lot going on with the new property here in Wales. And there was something that just, you can't do, well, you can do it all, but you can't do it all at once. And also I was like, there's no benefit to winning. I've got 5 awards in the first 3 years, getting some more in my 4th year. But it's not necessary. I thought actually it would be a bit of a distraction. And I thought, I haven't got anything new to share this year. I will come back all guns blazing next year. And also, do you know what? It's been really nice just to, you know, it's a lot, isn't it? To enter awards, the emotional roller coaster is kind of huge. Like, you're like, oh my God, I'm in, oh my God, da, da, da. And I wanted to just anything that I could turn off in terms of like energetics, I would want to turn that off. But what has been really nice that I didn't expect was just to be the cheerleader for my clients who are now going through that process, and watching them like the sky with their awards and their entries, and I'm getting a lot of joy from that, actually. So although I'm not up for awards, I feel really close to the award scene as I watch my clients go through it. And then let's see what 2025 brings. And if
I love going to ceremonies where I'm not organising and I'm not a finalist. I actually love it because I feed off the whole atmosphere, and I love cheering other people on. So that's what you will be doing. You will be sat in that seat cheering them on without the pressure of organising.
I'll probably be sat there crying, Debbie. Watching them. The pride is unreal, isn't it? And like you said, the cheerleader.
And I think you've very much been a figurehead to them, to encourage them to do that, because I was actually on a call this morning with an award skeptic. She would describe herself as an award skeptic. So we had a whole conversation around it. And by the end of it, she was like, Yeah, actually, everything you've now said to me, it makes more sense, because her view was, oh, awards, they're, a bit of a waste of time because they go to the sponsors and the judges, and that they're not judged fairly. And I was like, no, 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 there are awards out there that are judged fairly. And I talked through all of those kinds of benefits of awards. And I think you are somebody who has really benefited from awards. I firmly believe your community has grown as a result of you winning these awards. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it's difficult to say exactly what becoming an award winner does for you, but the results are undeniable. Something happens to you when you're, in terms of confidence and brand credibility, like your internal confidence and your external credibility, it clicks into place and it elevates your brand, elevates how you see yourself in the space. To get that validation from an award body that you really respect. Like, they're not making a mistake here when they select you as a finalist. They're not making a mistake here. You didn't get lucky. You worked for it and you earned it, and you can stand by that. And what it triggers, that confidence triggers something in you, and it ignites something in your followers. They can see a leader within you. They can trust your brand. You get PR opportunities. You get invitations to podcasts like this. You start to create this world around your brand that is bigger than just the day-to-day service that you're delivering behind the scenes. I think for anybody toying with the idea of, should I enter, you wouldn't be thinking about it unless you already knew that it was worth doing. It's worth pursuing. If you see others, moving ahead, then join them, go and be next to them. You're not in front, you're not behind, just be beside and enjoy the journey. And yeah, you'll enter some and you don't get through. And honestly, it's okay, because there's others that you can enter. And you might go through and be a finalist and not win, and still something amazing will happen. You don't know what. And I think that's the difficulty. It's that the fear of the unknown, right? You don't know if you're quite good enough. You don't know what will happen, but something will happen.
Yeah, and I think if you go back and listen to the episode 50, when I spoke to Enfys, what she did was very clever, really, because she came to my awards masterclass back in, whenever it was, 2021.
Oh, I know exactly when it was. I launched the business on the 21st of January, and I think I was in your masterclass I think it was February or March.
Yeah,
and I was like, how can I win? And then I was like, how can I win? Okay, I'm not ready now because I'm like a month. But I worked backwards. I was like, what are they going to need to know in 18 months? So I did that.
And I think that's what you did that was so clever, because we do get a lot of people that enter the awards that are literally within a few weeks of trading, and sadly they don't get through because you are up against new businesses that have been trading maybe 2 to 3 years, or even some new businesses are doing really well within a year, but it's still tough. New business categories in awards are tough to get shortlisted and to win, really hard. And I think what you did really well was you kind of teed up all of those things that you needed to do, and you almost used the awards as a bit of a benchmark for your own business strategy, which I think was very clever.
Yeah, I'm doing the same now, actually, Debbie. So I'm thinking about how my extravaganza is going to come into play later this year. Obviously, that event is for my clients. It's for my clients to come and enter the Golden Peacock Awards and connect and all the stuff that the event is for. But also, it is a strategic part of my puzzle, because I'm going to be thinking, what charity can I bring in into that event? What charity can I support? Who can I align myself with that does good, knowing, because you've told me in no uncertain terms, that actually, in order to progress into the next level, if you like, of business, we have to give back.
We do.
We have to give back. It's good to give back. There's all sorts of positive reasons, but equally your award entry has to have it. And for that, you know, I'm doing good because it's a good thing to do, but equally I have an eye on the strategic piece of the business. Like it would be a missing piece that is just so easy to fill by thinking, you know, what charity can I represent or support or endorse? Who can I invite to share my stage that would positively impact all of us? And then that will be a part of my award strategy for 2025. Do you see what I mean? Like
absolutely, because this is one of the things with us. We're very much with Best Business Women Awards about what is a business doing to give back. Okay, and a lot of businesses don't do anything, and some businesses do an immense amount, and it's like, wow, you know. And whilst running a successful business is obviously key criteria for winning a business award, it is also about what are you doing outside of that to support others and give back. And so that's a really good strategy. But it's also, like you said, it's important, I think, for businesses to sit back and think, right, okay, what can I do? It doesn't necessarily have to cost you a lot of time or money. You can actually make a very big difference in a very relatively easy way. But I do think, you know, the first 2 to 3 years of running a business, you are very caught up in that day-to-day running of the business. And maybe this is the next stage for you to consider, you know, that step.
Yeah, we have to be careful of our, you know, just the balancing of business.
Yes.
You know, and I'm just thinking of my own emotional bandwidth. Like I lost my business to the pandemic. I had the 2 young girls, quickly started a business, did all the things, relocated, and now as time I feel more mature in the business that I can be like, right, honestly, what is this business about? How can we give back? Who would be a natural charity partner that we can just weave into it somehow or another. I'm not sure how it's going to look. I'm not sure who it's going to be. I don't know exactly how this is going to play out, but I know it's important as a business, as a human, but also for what is next for the brand. You know, we can be kind and strategic, I hope. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's always important to align things with your business. And I always say this to clients that I work with: fundamentally support a charity that aligns well with your business. So let's just take the example, if you're a furniture store, maybe aligning yourself with a homeless charity. You know, it's about thinking about what it is that you're passionate about. And some people go for charities that are close to their own heart because they've lost somebody or they've had some illness themselves. And then some people go for more project-based charities that are serving their own community in some way, shape or form. So I think it's a really important thing. And anyone listening to this episode, if you're not working with a charity or giving up some time, some money, some way of fundraising, it is definitely something you should be considering, because it will enhance any award application that you do. And it's also really a good thing to do. It's never mind about award entries.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just about award entries, although you can use it for it. It enriches, well, I'm hoping it will enrich the experience of my clients, but also just for myself, like what it means to be in this space, creating a positive impact with my work, which is what a whole brand is about. And I don't know quite how it's going to look, because everything I'm doing is always new to me. And I learn on the job, and I learn quick, and I just try, and then I try again. And I get help, you know, I'll ask who you know, where this takes us. So we have our thoughts, and then we need help to see them through sometimes. So yeah, I'm excited to see what the end of year extravaganza will become and who we can support.
So have you had help along the way with your business? Let's just finish off with a kind of few little business tips. What support has helped you over the last 2 years since we spoke?
Yeah, investing in the support I need has been instrumental to my success, and identifying what help I need at the right time and not waiting to get that support has been really key. I had a business coach that was really helpful, mentors, investing in my own network and support systems. My VAs and my team have been pretty key, and systems, you know, like tech systems so I can actually provide a really solid delivery that is automated to some extent, so it'll give me my time back. But in like recognizing what you're trying to do, who can help and what you need, and not being scared that it's going to lose you money or waste you time, because from every single investment I've made, it's made me money and saved me time ultimately, and the business is better for it. I can't do this
Excellent.
alone. You know, there's no chance that I can do this alone, and I don't want to do it alone, which is why there is such a community around my business, but also about how I operate as part of that.
Well, thank you for joining me today. You have shared an incredible amount of insights into your world and how you've developed a community around your business that has not just supported you, but has supported them as well. Episode 50, Enfys talks more about sales training in that episode, but you can also make sure you connect with Enfys through her business lounge on Facebook. We'll make sure all the links are put in there and her website details so that you can have a look at some of the services that she offers. I think she's much more than a sales trainer. I think you are a community builder, and you are definitely somebody that is a bit of a beacon for people. You are the light in their lives. So thank you for joining me today. I wish you well on your journey, which I shall watch with interest. And maybe you might be the guest that gets invited back again in a couple of years' time as a third
Oh, I
interview. Who
love that.
knows?
Debbie, I always love speaking to you. Thank you
Oh,
for having me back and having this conversation.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you.